So welcome back to the channel, ladies and gents. We are once again out with the wonderful Adam of First Man Photography, and let me tell you this, today is going to be extremely chilled out. We've parked up, already walked about 10 or 15 minutes to be honest, and we're kind of doing, I suppose, a little bit of almost a loop all the way around Holme Fell, which a lot of you will know. It's a Wainwright that I've been up before. It's one of my favourite fells actually. It's definitely one of Adam's favourites as well. And then we're probably going to end up on Holme Fell for sunset, but that is ages away, honestly. It's about 5 or 6 hours away. And yeah, going back to what I said, we're just going to chill out. It's a beautiful day here in the Lake District. Almost too nice for photography, although I'm sick of saying that over the years, to be honest. Like, it's just a beautiful day. But you know what I mean. Days like this with blue skies can be tricky to photograph. So in a way, I might even see it as a little bit of a recce. You know, this area is fairly close to where I live. I'd say peak autumn's going to be no longer than 2 weeks, 1 week maybe. Oh, a couple of jets coming over here, look. Listen to this in a sec. You're not going to see them, so I don't know why I'm showing you. Waiting for the sound to catch up. Class. Love them. But yeah, proper chilled out, little bit of a recce. Hopefully come back here in a couple of weeks and get some of the prime autumn colour. Cheers. Hiya. So we've made a little bit more progress now, and in probably about 5 or 10 minutes we're going to head into a woodland where I think I came last year, and if I remember rightly I was in Scotland for autumn. I think I was in the Cairngorms, and like autumn hit in Scotland, it was incredible, and I got back down to the Lake District the following week and I was buzzing like for autumn. Came out in the lakes and it was, I suppose, kind of like it is now, you know, still very summery feeling in a lot of places. And it was this woodland that I came to, and I got here and I was like, oh, it still feels like we're in the middle of summer. Maybe a lot of you will remember that. I got this photograph of, I think it's Colwith Force waterfall, which is within this woodland. So I'd love to have another go at that. Maybe there's a bit more autumn colour kicking about. And yeah, just see what else is around and about. And on days like this today, you know, when the lighting's not ideal, I like to try and look for something a bit more intimate as well. But like I say, it's going to be really relaxed, and I'm going to try and keep that mindset along the way. So we are pretty close to the waterfall now. I'll tell you what, it's really busy. It's a beautiful day like you've seen here in the lakes, and we kind of just want to maybe get up to Holme Fell rather than feeling a bit hemmed in this woodland, because yeah, it is busy. So we might get a bit of a move on, but here we are. I don't know if you can see, I don't know if you can tell, maybe you can, but look, it's 1:30 in the afternoon, but the light is actually quite nice. It's, you know, the sun's quite low in the sky. See how in winter the light's just nice even in the middle of the day? It sort of feels like that, which I wasn't expecting anyway. I was just thinking, oh, blue sky day, proper judging it, you know, thinking the light's going to be too harsh in the woodland. But I reckon there is a chance for some nice woodland photographs as well, so we'll see. I'd like to get a photograph at some point, but just enjoying the walk, to be honest. So as you can see, this is the waterfall that I showed you the photograph of before. And then I think I got a bit of a panel when I was last here with the little gaff there. I remember calling it the little gaff, but incredibly, it feels like exactly the same sort of foliage. It still feels so green, but like I said, this is half the point on this walk today, is just to come, assess the scene, assess the colour, and then perhaps come back when it's a little bit more autumnal. So we've come off the sort of beaten track a little bit. It's a lot quieter, but look at this woodland. It's glorious. And like I said a second ago, the light coming through you just do find patches where it doesn't feel quite as harsh. I don't know if it's perhaps filtering through some of the canopies or whatever, but yeah, it's lovely. And this is a really good walk. I'd really recommend this walk for autumn, especially if you're wanting to come and take some photographs, or even if you're just wanting to, like, you know, enjoy a nice autumnal walk. And there's a lot of nice woodlands kind of surrounding Holme Fell, and it's a really good place just to park your car and jump on some of these trails. And look, there's loads of them, and you can just get lost in them all. And well, I wouldn't advise doing that, but you know what I mean. Loads of fantastic woodland, loads of variety as well, and loads of interest to photograph. So you know what, I would happily have this as a day of not even taking any photographs. It's not the plan, but when you're out sometimes, especially when you're out with a mate as well, and it's just enjoying the experience. This bag may not even come off the back. Well, it will, because I've got a meal deal, actually. I'll have to get out in a bit, but we're going to head up to Holme Fell eventually. I think we're maybe going to make a little bit of a beeline for it. Although saying that, we're not going to rush, but it's supposed to be pure blue skies all day. But myself and Adam have noticed a lot of kind of high altitude, or what looks like high altitude clouds, are rolling in. So we're sort of feeling quite hopeful for sunset already. Maybe wishful thinking, but yeah, this is lovely. So I was just looking at, I mean, look at that. Dry stone wall, moss covered, and I was looking thinking, I said before I wanted to try and get something intimate. I looked even a little bit closer. I don't know if this is going to work yet, but I thought I'd show you. Look at that. I think it's a silver birch leaf, isn't it? Almost like a bit of a diamond shape. I'm thinking if I can maybe try an image, maybe a square crop, just getting close into that beautiful little yellow leaf, the background of that vibrant moss, and then look at my shadow there. You could see we've got some really nice light filtering down on that little scene. So yeah, I'm going to give this a go. Right, I think that was worth the stop. The only trouble is, it's one of my only gripes with this lens is it's got really poor close focusing. So I've got to kind of hold it as far away from the leaf as sort of there, you know, if you could see that, kind of far away, but then at the same time, in fairness, I am zoomed in at almost 200 millimeters. Aperture priority, ISO's flying up on auto, but I don't care. And the light is lovely. I think it's going to be a nice little square crop. I might have to crop into it a little bit, because I think I'd like to be a bit closer to the leaf. So pop the shot up on the screen there, and I mean, on the back of the camera at least, it looks quite nice. And it's one thing I love. I mean, it's one thing I love about any time of year, but autumn especially, you know, looking down at your feet, looking at intimate little scenes just like this, it's a great way to actually go out and take photographs rather than always thinking about the big wide vistas. So we have made it, pretty much. We're on Holme Fell now, and just as I said that, this little mound here is blocking all of our wonderful views. I'll show you now, but yeah, coming up a bit of a different route than what I would usually. So it's really nice, you know, a different route, different perspectives, different way of seeing the landscape. But yeah, look at that, back down into Langdale. It's gorgeous, isn't it? Starting seeing a few of the Langdale pikes, Bow Fell, Pike of Blisco. I think we see a little bit of Crinkle Crags up there as well, but yeah, beautiful, glorious day. I'm going to say it again, absolutely beautiful. But as for the photography, not really seeing too much. I mean, it's probably one of them. It's a case of waiting for the sun to just continuously dip down. And you know yourselves, it'll get to the stage where minute by minute, everything starts looking better and better and better and more photogenic. And yeah, although this isn't, you know, one of my proper Wainwright series videos today, Holme Fell is a Wainwright. I've been up Holme Fell tons of times, but I've been up it as part of my Wainwright series already. That's why I'm not sort of counting it, you know. But I've got a bad feeling I say this about a lot of fells here in the Lake District, but this, I think about this, this probably has to be my favourite Wainwright so far. Ooh, I just feel like I've said that before. And another thing that I know I've also said is that a lot of the times it depends on the weather. It depends on the conditions, the environment. Sometimes if I go up a Wainwright and I get amazing photographs, that can influence whether or not I like it. But I think when I say home fell's my favourite, or one of my favourites, it's just so easy to get up and the views are ridiculous, absolutely incredible. As you can see, and you know, we're not even up at the top yet. You may see Adam a bit further down. So as a bang for your buck, home fell is unbelievable. And you know, if you're perhaps not great with your mobility to a certain extent, or if your fitness isn't up to scratch, I'd highly recommend home fell. From where myself and Adam parked, you can be up in like 30 minutes to the top of the fell, you know, and it can take you as long as it wants, and there's so much to see on the way up. And like I said, such incredible views for such little effort, really.
I think I might do a little black and white one here.
So Adam is going to take a photograph looking back towards beautiful Coniston Water. You may be able to see glimmering away there. A couple of nice trees there as well, very autumnal, but it's proper high contrast. So yeah, I think he's going to maybe take a black and white, which makes complete sense. But I'm going to go a little bit further on, find a suitable rock or perch, get out the meal deal. I'm hungry. And to be honest, at the minute, I'm just finding the conditions beautiful to be out, gorgeous. Couldn't ask for better. But in terms of the photography, yeah, just really flat and uninspiring. Just doesn't do it for me, that's all. It's a bit of a classic, isn't it? Without the moody skies, sometimes I'm a bit lost. But yeah, I'm hungry. That's all I can think about. Perhaps it's that. Oh, look at this. Look at this for a suitable perch. Oh, it's got meal deal written all over it, that, hasn't it? Right, here we go. Don't get your hopes up again. It's not exciting. Hang on. Oh. 1 litre bottle of water. Exciting start, isn't it? Bet you're on the edge of your seats. We've got, I've mixed it up a bit. Just got the old classic tuna mayo. I'm a big fan of these. On the soft white, no less. I love a tuna mayo. And the old Doritos chili heat wave. Terrible. Oh, terrible, but it will do the job. And oh no. Oh no. What has happened? What's Adam going to think of me when he gets up here? Yeah, it does the job, and I mean, what a spot. What a spot to sit and enjoy a meal deal. Privileged. Yeah, I love coming out with other photographers, you know. It's quality. I used to just come out on my own all the time, which I still love. And that would probably always still be my preference. No offence to Adam or anyone else, but you know what I mean, like, it's nice being out on your own, but every once in a while, when you can come out and share this passion with other people, being outdoors, hopefully taking a few photographs as well. Quality. So that's the old meal deal done. That was quality. Let me just show you this. Look at that. We're like middle of October now, and that's obviously it's not full bloom or anything, but I would say there's still a sufficient amount of colour in that little bunch of heather there to get the wide angle lens down, and you know, maybe get a photograph, something along those lines, looking back towards the Langdale Pikes and something like that. You probably have to shoot it in a portrait orientation, but yeah, I think I said that a couple of weeks ago. It was when I went Pike of Blisco actually there, yeah, which is off in the background there, one of those fells. And I said with the heather, you don't need loads of heather spread across a fell. Most of the time, you just need one little bunch like that that's still got a little bit of colour. And then you can work with the wide angle lens. I'm not going to take an image using that one in saying all of that, because I just don't think there's a composition there. There's too much nothingness here in the middle. But yeah, I'm going to keep my eyes peeled for heather, believe it or not, mid-October, just in case. But yeah, one thing I love about home fell is, you know, there always seems to be so much foreground interest with the likes of the heather, you know, in August, September. Loads of these nice little crags, things like that. The bracken's beautiful up here. There are quite a lot of trees dotted around. There's a reservoir down this way as well. The fell itself is such an expanse. I mean, this is all Home Fell over in that direction there. In fact, that's like Home Fell proper over there. This is probably more like Oxen Fell, you know. But up here anyway, there's just so much to photograph, so much to use down in the foregrounds. And like I was saying before, it's really easy to get up here. Alright, the old jets are still flying around, and oh, we've made a good bit of progress, to be fair. We were, last time I spoke to you was when I was having the meal deal pretty much. We were a bit further down on all of those crags there, and we're just trying to make our way up to, I suppose, like the proper top of Home Fell, really. The sun is going to dip down kind of below the Coniston Fells, and it's absolutely going to be one of them where, what time is it now? 4 o'clock, so sunset's still just over 2 hours away, but we're going to lose the sun quite quickly behind the Coniston Fells. So we want to be, you know, in place a good hour at least before the sunset to give ourselves the best chance of capturing something while the light is nice. I mean, the light's actually, I don't know if you can really tell on the video, but it's so much nicer already since that sun has dipped down. We're starting to see a little bit of light and shadow in all the contours of the fells, and oh, I love it because it's just getting me like that little bit more excited, you know. So we're not quite at the top just yet, but beautiful vantage point off in the background. We can actually see a little bit of High Street right off in the distance, which we were up a couple of weeks ago, 2 or 3 weeks ago. Red Screes, Dove Crag. Then we got Fairfield. We can see a bit of the, well, we can see all of the Fairfield Horseshoe really. It's gorgeous. Helvellyn, Lingmore Fell, which is a bit closer to us, and actually, yeah, just across Elterwater there, we've got Luffrig Fell. And then, like I said before, Langdale Pikes, Pike of Blisco, and then, yeah, round to Wetherlam and the Coniston Fells, which, like I said, you can sort of see now as well, the path that the sun's going to take. It's going to go right behind Coniston Old Man soon enough. Might as well keep going round to Coniston Water. Absolutely class, man. It's beautiful. So yeah, this it's lovely, man. It's so chilled out, so relaxed, and if I'm being honest, quite enjoying the lack of pressure of needing to take a photograph all the time. It's something I've been thinking about a lot more recently, especially since I've been doing some of the Wainwrights. Of course, I always want to get photographs, but I don't know. I just think sometimes, perhaps we're all guilty of this as photographers. I just feel like I put too much pressure on myself to get images. Perhaps more so with me because I do it for a living. I don't know really, but yeah, sometimes it's just nice to come out and for the photography to take a proper backseat. You know, it's lovely. So we shall see what happens with this sunset, and I'll probably get into photography mode soon enough after saying that. So as you can see, I've just popped my wide angle lens on for a second because I think there's potential for a photograph here incorporating this little bunch of heather here, which leads off nicely to Coniston Water. And I don't know yet if they're going to be included, but we've got some nice crags sort of in the mid-ground as well. But like I said before, I was hoping to just find a bunch of this heather that still had a little bit of colour in it, and there we go. We can work with this. Light's still fairly harsh, but we are getting some really nice side light. We can work with it. It's brilliant. And again, aperture priority, don't really care what the settings are. I'll just make sure I'm on f11 because there's going to be a lot of depth here. And yeah, auto ISO. And then the main thing is, I just want to be nice and close down to this heather. Yeah, so we're not really getting any of them mid-ground crags in. There we go, simple as that. Let's have a look at that. That all looks like nicely in focus to me. Yeah, it's lovely. Pretty nice side light. Sky's quite nice as well. There's a little bit of interest up there, but I'm just so glad that I was able to find one of these bunches of heather that somehow still has a fair bit of colour to it. So myself and Adam, as you can see, we've got up to what is like actually right at the top of Home Fell now. Look at my face, the light is beautiful. And we've literally just said, I mentioned it before, look, that light's going to go really quickly. You know yourself, sometimes it can catch you out where you're kind of getting set up and before you know it, because you know, you can be so focused on the sunset time. I do this all the time. Sunset tonight I think is about 6:15, but I'll tell you the time now, it's nowhere near that. It's 5 past 5. So it's over an hour till sunset, but look, the sun's barely above the Coniston Fells there, so that'll be gone soon. You've got to be careful. Now, I think Adam's going to take some photographs from this location, but if you see this little puddle here, wow, some of you might actually remember, but I got this photograph, and we must be talking 2 or 3 years ago now. And not to say that I can't get anything better from up here, but because I've been up here so many times, I just fancy focusing on a completely different direction for this sunset. So I'm going to look, well, back to where we've parked really, back to the Langdale Pikes and in that direction, and to Lingmore Fell. Maybe use a telephoto lens, and to be honest, just for the sake of trying something a little bit different. All right, so sorry I didn't really talk much about any photographs I got. To be honest, I was quite uninspired. We're still going to keep our eyes peeled as we're going down, because you can maybe see off in the background, there's still some nice light hitting the top of the fells. If I'm being completely honest, I think what it is purely just a couple of things. Purely just the fact that I've been up to Home Fell so many times, which doesn't necessarily mean to say there's not loads more photographs to be had. But I think just because I'm out with Adam as well, just kind of trying to be present, enjoy the experience and enjoying being outdoors a bit more. I think the photography's took a little bit of a back seat, but that's fine, it's all good. I did get this photograph, and yeah, I'm not particularly inspired by it all. The light was nice, to be fair, the side light. It might be worth taking the shot again if we get a little bit of colour in the sky, but we'll see. But as always, thank you so much to my Ko-fi members. I appreciate you all, and to everyone that watches equally, thank you so much for your continued support. And Adam's chatting away to his camera, but a big thank you to him as well. Do go and check out his channel. I'll leave a link in the video description below. Hope to see you all next week. See you on the next adventure. Out.